What's up, y'all? We're going to talk about knowledge today. We're going to talk about two specific trains of thought, schools of thought, rather. So the first is rationality, the second is empirical data. In this class, we're going to talk a lot about where do we get our knowledge? Is it valid? Where do we get our information? Is it credible? So you'll talk about that. When you start listening to the Serial podcast, you'll be thinking a lot about credible evidence, what is and what isn't. So let's back up a little bit. From where do we get our knowledge comes from two schools of thought, like I said. The first is rational thought. So this means that most human knowledge comes through reason. I reason that there are shadows on the wall, and that's all I've ever seen before. And so that's the reality. When actuality, there's a lot more going on, especially if you turn around and realize, like, you've been looking at shadows for a long time. This is the classic cave Plato argument. If you haven't heard about that, you should check it out. Look up Plato cave philosophical arguments. There's a whole real world outside, and so think about the funnel through which you get your news. So if you watch Fox News, or if you watch NBC, or if you only listen to NPR, etc., you're going to have a rational perspective if you only take it at face value. So then the next is empirical thought. Let me back up a second. So the point of rational thought is that we're only looking at shadows. You have to think through things and not just your senses. But empirical data is just about that, is trusting your senses. It's what science is based upon, what we experience through the five senses, but some say we have more than five. I would be one of those people. That what we experience through our senses is truth/knowledge. Both of these schools of thought have value, but they are two different ways through which we get our knowledge and through which we make decisions based on our knowledge, which is the most important aspect, right? If you have any questions further about the difference between these, let me know. Send me an email. I want to show you some funny memes about this. So, if you know about some e-cards, it's a great website for laughter. But also they have some good philosophical arguments. So here's one. Your lack of rational perspective has really helped me rationally put things into perspective. Let's see. That was a very well laid out rational point. But I will still hold to my emotional opinion based on no facts or evidence. So if you look at this closely, you'll notice that this is actually an incorrect argument. Later on we'll talk about why. Here's one. Let me destroy your rational argument by simply telling you, you don't understand how I'm feeling. Next. Please use the comment section to demonstrate your own ignorance, unfamiliarity with empirical data, and lack of respect for scientific knowledge. All 4 of these will give you explanations as to why this is important, because how do you apply this to your life? When you get into a conversation with someone who's like, I don't believe you, where'd you get your information from? They're actually using critical thinking skills. Whether or not you like their attitude, that's a whole nother story. So anyway, I'll send you these cartoons and let you look at those, and we'll have a little conversation about those in our forums. All right? Thanks.